There was a slightly ridiculous, exhaustive study done on the trucking market in the United States. And it claimed that this is the percentage of sales that BYD and Tesla will take from traditional truck rivals over the next 10 years. Now, I think it's completely wrong. I think it's utterly nonsensical. But maybe some of you guys will agree with their claims. And I'm actually intrigued to know how many people agree with this so-called research from so-called experts, or how many people think, as I do, that this is massively underestimating the change, the disruptive change we're about to see across the entire trucking industry. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. It's great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Great to have you. Welcome back, everyone else. So what's going on right now? Well, Tesla's Semi, people said it couldn't tow. It was electric Semi, it wouldn't work. Mercedes-Benz, their trucking arm of the company, said that it was a physics impossibility. They said if it does what it claims, it's breaking the laws of physics. And well, apparently Tesla is breaking the laws of physics, because we've seen real world testing now that wasn't done by Tesla. It's been done by others, done by Pepsi, done by individual trucking organizations, showing that Tesla's claims weren't exaggerated. So I guess Elon Musk doesn't always exaggerate. Anyhow, European truck makers, European by the way, and US truck makers are likely to lose 11% of the truck market to international electric rivals by 2035, says the Boston Consulting Group. And they forecasted this study in a report from the Transport and Environment Commission, T&E. It's one of 3 scenarios analyzed by BCG on the impact of international competition. So right now, Tesla and BYD don't really have much, if any, market share. Tesla doesn't have any market share in the trucking industry in Europe, but BYD apparently has a little bit. However, this will change massively, and it means market share, a huge amount of market share will be lost to BYD and Tesla. This is the percentage they're predicting will happen. Now, before we get to that, basically what they're doing is here, they're saying, there's a report here. It's saying you guys are about to be disrupted. You've got to invest more money into electric trucks, and if you don't, you're screwed. Now, is there being a lot of money invested into electric trucks today, as in right now? I mean, obviously Tesla is planning on making a lot of them. Tesla wants to completely disrupt the American trucking industry, and it will, because American trucking industry isn't taking EV trucks seriously. Well, hang on a minute. Actually, I made those claims 6 months ago. Within the last 6 months, everything has changed. When I say everything has changed, I mean absolutely everything has freaking changed. We have seen investment from Mercedes, Volvo, PACCAR, pretty much every major trucking company in the United States has all of a sudden gone, holy smokes, yes. Hydrogen trucks, it's a nice little fad, and yeah, sure, that'll take up a little bit of the industry. Not. I mean, think about this. You really think people are going to just put all these hydrogen-powered stations all across the United States simply to service trucks, and that's it? Nothing else? It doesn't make sense. That's not going to happen. So all these trucking companies have realized, also mining companies have realized, mining companies basically commissioned hydrogen-powered mining vehicles, then they commissioned equivalent electric ones, and they, even ones that were fully invested in selling hydrogen, invested in a so-called future of hydrogen, even said the electric ones were better. And they just basically made this public knowledge. So now we know mining companies are buying electric equipment, not hydrogen-powered equipment. I'm pretty confident now the trucking industry is seeing that the way forward. Basically, analysts have confirmed this as well. The likelihood of trucks being electric, and 80% of trucks in 2030 will be electric in terms of sales, not in terms of the fleet, but in terms of sales. That's what they're predicting now. A lot of experts are saying that. So all of a sudden, we've seen many billions of dollars committed to for building electric trucks in the United States, but it hasn't happened at the same rate in Europe. And this report saying, hey, Europeans, you guys need to get your shiz together, because otherwise you're going to lose a lot of sales. Now, I don't agree at all with the claims that they've made here. They're saying only 11% of the market will be taken by BYD and Tesla. Now, I'm not really too certain on what Tesla plans for electric trucks in Europe, but Tesla, if there's a market, they'll certainly want to sell them. And I'm sure that Tesla are very well aware that Europe is ripe for being disrupted. As in, they've done it with EVs. They've got the best-selling EV in Europe. Why not have the best-selling truck in Europe? I'm going to guess they're planning on doing so. So is it realistic to say that BYD and Tesla will take 11% of the truck market by 2035? Well, no, I don't think so. I think that's like the minimum number. I reckon they could take 20%, maybe even more than that. What do you guys think? Let me know. To be fair though, as according to Clean Technica, entry barriers are higher in the truck market than for cars, with little international trade today. But that will change fast if other regions electrify faster as well. Plus, of course, the more vehicles you make, so Tesla's obviously done the numbers. They know if they make 200,000 trucks a year, those trucks will cost more for them to make than if they make 400,000. If they put orders with suppliers and they say we want 400,000 parts versus 200,000, they'll get them cheaper. So they can make them cheaper the more they make. And of course, the more they sell, the more money they make. So it doesn't make sense to make a small number. It makes sense to make as many as you can. Now, the EU says demand for zero emissions trucks, in other words, primarily electric trucks, will increase to 55% of all sales by 2030. Now, I think that won't happen. I believe it'll be a far greater number. I think it'll be closer to 100%. And the key reason is energy density continues to increase. Plus, we've seen battery pack prices come down 30% this year. We saw them come down 9% in August. It was 10% in July. We've seen prices come down so much that it means electric trucks are completely economically feasible. They last longer. And as energy density improves and battery pack prices come down, range for electric trucks will continue to climb, continue to increase. We're seeing big gains in efficiency. And this will keep happening. By the time we get to 2030, 6.5 years away from now, you're going to be looking at electric trucks that can do 1,000 kilometers on a charge very, very easily. That'll be the norm. In fact, we're not that far off it today. We're actually not that far off. If you think about it, if Tesla's long-range electric semi can do 500 miles, we're very close to that number already. So I think we'll probably exceed 1,000 kilometers, meaning there really won't be any advantage to buying a diesel-powered truck, other than the fact they're really, really slow up hills. So if you like that, well, hey, great. I just drove from Newcastle to Melbourne. It was an 11-hour drive on freeways. There was so many dangerous, extremely dangerous situations with two trucks in both lanes doing about 25 miles an hour. You come around a corner, there's two trucks, you're going the highway speed, about 65 to 70 miles an hour, and all of a sudden there's two vehicles in front of you that are driving at walking pace. So it'd be much safer to have an electric truck as well. Now, current truck CO2 standards risk European manufacturers not meeting demand. So that's worth considering here. The economics here are a problem. T&E said EU lawmakers should set more ambitious targets to require truck makers to produce more zero emissions vehicles. This will help avoid a repeat of the car market where European car companies that were slow to electrify facing increased competition in the EU from Chinese EV manufacturers. Now keep in mind, China is not stupid. They're very well aware of an opportunity and they're going to see this here. They already make a lot of electric trucks in China. And China's going to go, well, okay, why are we just selling them in China? Let's take over this section of the market as well. That's what they do. They try to take over every manufacturing sector that they can. So I'm pretty confident companies such as BYD have already seen this opportunity and are planning on capitalizing on it. Sophie Dufour, freight director at T&E, said this: our truck industry risks repeating the loss of sales to Tesla and BYD that we've started seeing in the car market. If Volkswagen and Stellantis could go back 5 years to when electric cars had the same market share as electric trucks do now, would they make the same choices? To retain dominance at home, European truck makers need to go electric faster. More ambitious EU CO2 standards alongside green industrial policy will ensure they keep up with demand while bringing down costs for haulers. Basically, they're begging these trucking companies to innovate. They're very concerned that this big sector of European manufacturing is going to die because it will be disrupted. BCG modeled the impact on employment of different speeds of transition to electric trucks and found that the faster the transition, the bigger the gains. The targets proposed by the European Commission would create 7,000 additional jobs in the sector by 2035 compared to losing probably that many jobs. And under more ambitious targets proposed by T&E, in other words, them innovating faster or making electric trucks quicker, 23,000 new jobs would be created rather than being lost. Now, I personally don't think they're taking it that seriously from what I can see. Yes, Volvo and Mercedes are working on electric trucks, but other companies, some of the bigger ones, I don't believe they're really that committed to it. And that's a big problem for them, but a big opportunity for other truck companies. And to give you some context, the contribution of the truck manufacturing sector to the European economy will increase. The proposed targets by the EU Commission would create 10 billion euros, or around about $11 billion in additional GDP compared to current standards, according to T&E analysis based on BCG's modelling. T&E's proposed targets would add 27 billion in GDP, so $30 billion in GDP. So you can gain that, or you could potentially lose that. Sophie Dufour said this: the transition to electric trucks, or zero-emission trucks, which predominantly will be electric, is good for jobs and for the climate. But the size of the economic gains depend on the speed of the transition. Lawmakers need to chart a more ambitious course for truck makers than what's currently on the table, or of course, they risk losing yet another important manufacturing industry across the European Union. They're panicking now. They'll be panicking even more in 5 years' time. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye-bye.